Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today is August 19th, 2022. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you all. Today we have two topics on the agenda. The first one is related to the Kubernetes 1.24 change. There's a change in the default behavior where the service token is no longer auto-generated. And then QJang is gonna walk us through his pull requests and the discussion around it for the cluster admin init command. And then afterwards, Shijao will talk a little bit about applying the Sonar Cloud to the open cluster management community and some of the repos. So without any further delay, QJang, please take it away.
Okay, yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah, so hello. This one is so I want to discuss about this PR. The background, as Mike has mentioned, is in 1.2.1.2.4 of Kubernetes, service account will not generate a token in the secret, but we need to directly call the create token request to generate a token from the service account. So that impact our init process when using a service account, because previously we are when we run Clusteradm init with service account, the init will create a service account and watch whether there is a secret generated by the service account, and I read a secret from there. But that process needs to be changed. So this PR is going to change it. I still have some problem with the E2E in this case. But the more about this one is I tested it with different version of Kubernetes and kind. The problem currently is if we use a kind with version lower than 1.19, this peer does not work, because in the kind cluster with one lower than 1.19, the feature gate of token request is not enabled by default. So we cannot just create the tokens in such kind cluster. In some Kubernetes cluster, it works, but if the feature gate is not enabled in those clusters, it has some problem. But with the cluster higher than 190 or 120, it is okay, because the feature gate is enabled and by default is enabled by default. So I have another option, like I can try to do the both things and see whether it works in this PR. Like I can first create a token, and then I can, and if there is some problem, like this token create token fails with not found error, I can read the secret again, which fall back to the original one. But that makes things a little bit complicated. So I want to ask, so I want to have some discussion, like what's a version of kind and Kubernetes cluster that we want to support with Clusteradm in for the hub. Like if we are saying we just only support a hub with version higher than 119, maybe this PR is okay. But if anyone still use a lower version of Kubernetes as a hub and use it with Clusteradm, this PR will bring some issues when running the Clusteradm in it.
In my opinion, I think they should be fine because we have the use bootstrap token flag, and that flag is actually what's currently the users are using if they're using a later version of Kind. So they've been working around this issue using that flag. So by you um, creating this PR and fixing this issue for the later Kubernetes releases or the later version of Kind, then you sort of switch what is working and what's not working, right? So it means the default behavior is gonna get better as Neo Kind version or Kubernetes version increases, and then for the legacy version, they can continue to work by working around the issue using the use bootstrap token flag. So I think rather than creating some tech debt by working around the issue, we should just fix the issue for the later releases. And then as time progresses, it'll get better and better. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you, like because this is the purpose of of changing the service account token generating in the Kubernetes. So any other comments?
Does this problem only occur in Clusteradm, or if that the registration operator will be impacted for this?
No, it's just impact the Clusteradm. The thing is that we are the Clusteradm init will generate a bootstrap secret. So we currently have two options with flag. You can use something called bootstrap token, which is going to create a secret in the kube system namespace, and it works in all the versions, but in some Kubernetes cluster, that feature is disabled. For example, in OpenShift, that we cannot use that feature. Another option is using the service account. So this PR is going to fix the service account part when using service account to generate the bootstrap secret.
Okay, thank you.
Do we know the support lifetime for how much longer Kind up through 119 will be supported?
You mean support means who will support that?
The community actively developing and fixing vulnerabilities, making changes. I only see for the most recent Kind release goes back to Kubernetes 118.
I actually I don't know. I can check about that.
That's understandable. My point is just it might be worth taking into consideration. It's if we're rapidly approaching a point where the minimum supported Kind version by the Kubernetes community will be greater than what breaks with the change, it may not be worth investing the time and could help push people to upgrade to newer versions.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
For kind, the last time I checked, they're still sort of in alpha, so there's no really support, and they constantly making backward compatibility changes anyways. So I don't think we need to worry too much about supporting older version of Kind. I'm trying to find their API and see if they're still on alpha right now. But that's the response last time I got when I opened an issue on Kind, and the Kind maintainer just say, "Hey, we are in alpha, so expect breaking changes all the time." Anyways, another opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's better for our defaults. We fix this issue, and our default cluster admin work with the later version of Khan and later version of Kubernetes, because at least we can if the community come and ask, and as we're demoing in conferences, we can always say, hey, make sure you get the later version of Khan, latest version of Kubernetes, etc.
Yeah.
But saying that it's easier to say that than say, hey, make sure you get this version of Kind, which is 2 releases ago, or this version of Kubernetes 2 releases ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think also we need to maybe also need to dock it in the website. Like if you use a lower version of Hub, you need to ensure and use Clusteradm init with service account token. You need to ensure that the Hub has the token request feature gets enabled, or use a kind version higher than 190. Some document might need it in the website.
So why not to add a new parameter to for the backward capability?
You mean use a legacy token? Like we have a flag called legacy service account token. And
Yeah, yeah.
I personally don't think we need that tech debt, because we already have a flag that can work around the issue with that bootstrap token, right? So assuming the bootstrap token continue to work for the kinds, then we really don't need to make another flag, because if they're gonna use the flag, then they might as well. Oh, I guess there's some Kubernetes version that doesn't use that bootstrap, doesn't have that bootstrap token enabled as well. But that, I think that's a little bit two corner cases. What do you think, Kyujang? Sorry, I cut.
I think I agree with you. I think the I'm not sure so that's really depends on whether the support of our hub on the versions, like for example, we suppose do we need to should state that the hub of Kubernetes version should higher than a certain version, like because the create token request is, I think it's introduced in Kubernetes 1.16 or 1.17. So if someone using a Kubernetes cluster lower than that, it may not have both either it may not have service account a token request and bootstrap token. None of them will be exist maybe in the Kubernetes cluster lower than 1.16. So in that case, that flag makes sense. Like you have a legacy service account token, and they still can work. But I can't think we cannot support that, right? We need to state something in the website to indicate the lowest version of Kubernetes that we can support for the hub.
Yeah, documenting it, I think, sounds a good approach.
Yep, I can make the website PR, and then if we decided on making the requirement 1.16 and above, and then we can doc and talk about this issue as well around that area.
Yeah.
So Qjang, are you planning to have this fixed? Because I think Matt asked for a release of Clusteradm so that it comes with a one of his fixes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if it's possible to have this merge as well, since the current init command is broken.
Yeah, I think so. I need to fix some E2E. I still need to fix some E2E problem. But I think we should merge it and including the policy part as a new tab. Maybe after this one is merged, we create another PR to update the change log of the Clusteradm and then do the tab.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments for this PR? Qjang and anyone else? Okay, then. Thank you, Qjang, for bringing up this issue. Shijiao, could you please share your screen and talk about the Sonar Cloud?
Yeah, let me share my screen.
Thank you.
Cool. I'm sorry, I have to re-enjoy it.
No problem.
Sorry for that. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I think we have talked about coverage before, and we agreed that scan is needed. So today's topic is actually about action. To be specific, is to end Sonar Cloud in our ACM repos. This is I compared with other similar product and find Sonar Cloud have some advantage, like it is free for public project, and it includes both quality and security scan. It has a clear UI to use, and the most important is we have experience on it, so it is easy to use for us. And in this call, I'm not trying to. We are not trying to do all things in one step. So at the beginning, we only end the Sonar Cloud configuration on those seven repo. sorry, 6 repo. This is a middle stream repo. Okay, 6 repo. And after that, we will do something based on the scan results. For example, we can set bars of coverage to new PRs, like and checks in GitHub workflow. And also we can create code refactor tasks to continue improve our code. And after a while, if we find that it won't hurt our productivity and our code quality do benefit from all this, then we can consider to extend to other repos and finally make it become a standard rule for OCM organization for all new repos in open cluster management. So here I suggest we set a item in our roadmap and plan a schedule it in a specific release and set the owner to trace it. That is the suggestion. So, if anyone have advice or opinions about the first step?
I think the Allen framework repo should also be considered as the first step because it's a widely used library for developers. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Allen framework is a missed one.
Is the proposal to use Sonar Cloud on its own? No integration of other tooling?
Currently, no. Actually, in the first step, we suggest only add configuration to repos to collect information because it requires effort, and I'm not sure whether we can really benefit from it. So we don't want to do too much at the beginning.
Okay.
I actually think maybe this is your second step. Like in the first step, I would suggest that we just choose one of the repos in this 7 repos as to do some test. For example, I want to check. So I want to check whether what's the configuration that should be done for the repo. When we onboard a new repo, what should be set up for that repo? For example, that's something we might need to document the process, like onboarding a new project in the org, in the open cluster management. Will we require that Sonar must be put into that? Another thing is about the GitHub action task, action setup. Like, do we require that all the so when we have a repo that we need the GitHub action to have action using the Sonar and to gate the PR. For instance, if the PR has not meet a certain kind of code quality, the PR will not be merged. So I think having one repo to do some tasks on that will be helpful. And then we can then decide whether we apply that to all to other repos in the organization. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, agree.
I'm in favor of this overall. I'd be careful saying it will help write more secure code. Sonar Cloud is still rather limited in how much security scanning it does through its static analysis. It only checks for hard-coded credentials and hard-coded IPs. But the code smells and everything else, I think, can serve as a good first PR or introduction to the community for people that want to get involved. It can help identify those for places to contribute.
Thank you, Matt. Any other comments for Shuzhou? Shuzhou, do you have any last last word?
Yeah, so I think we can have one repo, but I'm not sure whether we should add an item in that roadmap. And I'm not sure which release is a better time to begin this. So
I think we should create an issue and add it into the roadmap. So if it is possible that we should start to check whether with one repo we can I think that we should maybe in this release we should pick one and test it and do some demo here, indicating how it works, and then we in the next step that we can discuss what's the whole plan.
okay, thank you. One note here, need a demo later. Okay, so we began from this release. Okay.
I would say yes.
Questions from
Yeah, I
you.
mean, just if as long as I'm if you have buffer to do that, I think it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shuzhou and Qzhen. I think that concludes our agenda for today. Qzhen, is there any other items that you wish to discuss? And anyone else from the community that wants to bring up any topics? Okay, thank you everyone. Take care. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.